It is time for the essence part of the Sisterlove 2025 Trend Edition. We are gonna be trying out Essence X Superman. I bought a few of the items and I'm pretty excited to try these out, so let's get into it. Alright, so in this video I'm gonna be trying 5 items, 4 items from the Superman collection and 1 item from the Catrice X Wonder Woman collection. That video, by the way, is already up if you're excited to see about that collection. And I'm actually gonna be starting out this video with this product. This is the Essence Swirl lip mask. This is a like pink and yellow, like coral and yellow swirl lip mask, and this one is in squeezy tube. As you squeeze it out, it actually becomes quite yellow. It's a little bit on the thicker side. It's not super easy to squeeze out, but I do feel like it works with this packaging. It is quite pigmented if you apply quite a bit, but I already tried a little bit of this on my lips yesterday, and I feel like the tint to it is subtle enough to just be able to use this as a lip balm. I don't feel like it's too much. And then the scent of this, it kind of smells like maybe mango or something like that. It has quite a strong scent, but I quite like it. I don't think it's a bad scent, so I'm just gonna apply a little bit of this. This is the only lip product that I have of this collection. Like, you see the yellow there, right? And it does have really like a candy fruity scent to it. I do see a little bit of yellowness on the lips. It feels really nice. It does give a little bit almost of an orangey tint. I would just zoom you in. It has quite a nice amount of gloss to it. And yesterday as I was wearing it, I also felt like it was quite hydrating and comfortable. I quite enjoy this actually. Like, this is pretty cute. It looks cute, and I do think that on the lips it's quite nice. I quite like this. I think I like this more than the lip balm from the Catrice collection. I do kind of wish that we had this in a cooler tone shade as well, because I just love my cool tone lips, but I think this is a pretty cute product. I like it. So I'm just gonna leave that on throughout the video, and then in the end I'm just gonna pick some other lip product, but not from this collection. Then we are going into the eyeshadow palette that I bought from this collection. This eyeshadow palette is in the shape of like this Superman logo that he has on his chest, and it has this packaging that kind of shifts from you seeing Superman and you not seeing Superman, which I think is pretty fun. This is something that they do more often with their packaging. I feel like the packaging on the Essence collection is a little bit more fun, or like on the Essence eyeshadow palette. The Wonder Woman collection feels a little bit more like classy. This feels a little bit more fun and young. And then as you open it up, we have a color story with 9 shades. I got the cool tone one that actually looks really, really nice. It goes from light to deep. There are no water activated liners in this one, which I do prefer. For me, that's not necessary. This is the one in 01 Find Your Power. There's also one other colorway which had a pop of green, but I thought I could really see myself using this the most if I ended up really liking the formula. And when I swatched it, I actually was quite impressed. I thought that the shimmers looked really nice. It all just looked quite good. We do, by the way, have one cream shade in this palette, which is this shade called Hope, this kind of like neutral brown. So we're gonna test it out because I don't feel like I've seen a formula like that in an Essence palette before. So we're gonna definitely try that out. So I'm already wearing some eye primer, and as I said, I kind of want to use that cream shade, but it is the least like cool tone shade in the palette. Otherwise I would have maybe gone for more of the purpley shades, but we're just gonna start out with that one. So I'm just gonna use kind of like a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna start out with that in the crease and see if it works like that, because it doesn't seem to me like a super creamy shade. It seems to be almost more like a cream to powder. I don't know if this is really working. Like, it seems to be very light. Lightly pigmented. I don't know if that's the case. It could also be that this method of application is just not the best. It really feels like it's turning into a powder, really like a cream to powder. This is not gonna be like greasy on the lids. I think I can build this up. I think it's gonna be okay. It does have quite a nice blend to it. I do enjoy it. I think that's quite a nice formula, but definitely buildable. I'm gonna try and take a little bit of that on my finger. Like, it has kind of like that blurred edge look to it. And I'm just gonna try and applied it on top. Now it looks a little bit more like a creamy sheen. I think I prefer maybe the application with the brush and just like building it up like that, because I really feel like that wouldn't crease. And I do have oily lids, so I would be a little bit scared always when using cream eyeshadows because they crease. So I'm just really digging in and building this up, and this is not gonna give us all the dimension in the crease, but I just want to see what it looks like on its own. And what it works like on its own is quite a nice neutral brown shade. I would actually quite like this for a everyday look. Just put this in the crease. Like, it is buildable. You can get some definition. You can create a shadow with this. I quite like this. I'm gonna put a little bit of that on my lower lash line as well. Digging in a little bit more. And let's see if it sticks to the lower lash line without a primer. Yeah, it's very buildable. But it's also not like you're picking up a lot from the pan. So it's not really like a pigmentation issue. It's really like this cream formula is a little bit more stiff, and that's why you have to dig in. Okay, I'm liking where this is headed. And now I think I am gonna take the shade Small Veil to kind of like cool that down a little bit. I'm gonna take the same brush but a different brush. And I just wanna add a little bit of that purple. Oh, that actually shows up really well on top of this. Like, that is purple, even on top of that brown. Like, that is really nice and very purple. Like, not much is left from what I just laid down. Like, you do see the edges of it. I do feel like that's a really nice base. That's really nice. This is quite a powdery shade, so that's also why you get a lot of pigment right away. There is some kick up in the pan, for sure. This is so purple. You don't always know, not always is it the case that cool tone shades show up this cool tone. I really like this look so far. I really like the blend. I really like these shades together. I'm into it. I'm gonna take a clean brush to blend the edge. I think maybe this time around, it doesn't usually happen, but maybe this time around Essence is gonna be the favorite for the eyeshadow palette from the Sisterlove collection. I'm really liking this. I could totally see myself really deliberately, consciously going into this palette to like go into these colors. This is really nice. I'm gonna go into the shade called Krypton, and I'm gonna deepen things up with that. And this seems to also be a little bit on the purpley side. So let's see if it blends well and if it really deepens up this look. But I do love kind of like neutrals that are actually purple. It is like, okay, is it purple? Is it neutral? I think this is looking great. This is looking great. Okay, so this is the difference. I do really feel that it adds some like depth. This was really nice and pigmented. Also pretty powdery in the pan, but I don't really mind that as long as the shade works well on the eye. Like powdery shades that are like dry on the eye, dry and powdery on the eye as well. That's what I don't like. These tones are so good. This is nice. This is nice. It's not Essence nice. It is nice. More blending. And this is pretty easy to do. Like, it's not sticking to anything weirdly. Like, it's going really well. I'm gonna put a little bit of this on my lower lash line, just on the outer part here, and trying to connect it. I'm not wearing anything on the face yet, so I'm gonna clean this up a little bit with concealer. And on the other side. Okay, so this is the bases, the mattes. I think it's looking really good. I'm really liking it. And I have a good feeling about these shimmers. I think these are gonna be really nice. They seem a little bit more textured. And I think I'm gonna go in I should know how to pronounce this. Kal-El? This seems kind of like a duochrome from a purpley shade to a blue. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of that with my finger. It feels quite creamy and it looks quite glowy. And yeah, this is quite nice. It's kind of like this toppery kind of shade, but I don't feel like it's chunky or too squishy in the pan. But yeah, you definitely see through it what you have underneath. I don't feel like it's the most like shiny, impactful, toppery eyeshadow that I've used in my life, but it's definitely really nice for like what this is and what kind of palette this is. Like there is something still a little bit subdued about it, but maybe that's what you want to go for. I have a little bit of fallout, but that's gonna be okay because I haven't done my face yet. And for the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go with shade... Yeah, I'm gonna go with Truth Seeker just to see if that is pigmented enough for the inner corner highlight. And then I might use a little bit more of a shimmer on the lower lash line. So let's see how pigmented this is. Oh yeah, that's pigmented. That is definitely pigmented. I took enough, like definitely enough. Like, it's a little powdery and it's kind of flying all over my face, but it's definitely pigmented. I'm gonna take a little bit off, like on my hand, and just blend with sort of a clean brush. This has gotten a little messy. I took way too much on my brush. And now it's kind of like not as impactful anymore. I feel like I just need to grab some, press it down, and then leave it. Like press in once and press it on. Otherwise you just blend it away again. Okay, I don't feel like this is the ideal inner corner highlight. Like it works, but it is quite easy to kind of like blend it away. Okay, I want to grab a little bit of Look to the Sky. And I want to use that on my lower lash line. I want to see if this applies with a brush. So let's see if it sticks. Well, I guess it's sticking, yeah, it's working. But definitely I need to go and clean my face. It's a bit of a sparse shimmer, but it is sticking. I kind of want to put this in the inner corner now, just to see. Because I feel like what I have there is just very soft now. Yeah, it's not really sticking there. Now that I have the matte down, it's a bit messy. It's really a bit messy. But I feel like we got it there. It's there now. It's an interesting shimmer formula. It's nothing like anything I've tried. It's kind of sparkly, but also kind of soft. But I think a lot of people will like these palettes. I think for me, definitely the mattes are the star of the show. And then especially like the way they blend and the undertones. I don't think they are perfect mattes, but they're definitely quite nice. It's gonna blend over here in the outer corner a little bit. Like I really like the tones here and you can get a cute look. The shimmers are just like softer. Not as satin as the ones in the Catrice palette, but it's just like if you would wanna wear a shimmer but you don't really want anyone to really think while she's wearing shimmer on her lids, like this could be it. Then I have one of the eyeliners from this collection, and this is the liner in the blue to purple shade. This is the Duochrome Eyepencil, and this is supposed to be waterproof. I have shade 01, I'm falling for you. I do really love Duochrome eyeliners. I've really been into that lately. And this is an interesting one, an interesting formula. It was so creamy when I swatched it that it kind of shocked me, kind of like almost scared me because it's so soft that it's almost like your pencil is just breaking off. So we're gonna put this on carefully. And I do see the shift, but it's kind of like a blue to a purple, so it's not like a super strong shift. I'm just gonna try it out on the top first to see how I feel about it because I'm a little scared to put this in my waterline. Like it's kind of already looking like the top is kind of smooshed because it's so soft. So let's just apply a little bit of this. Like it's very impactful, but it's just so incredibly creamy that it's almost a bit too creamy. Like I said I wanted creamy eye pencils, but maybe you took it a little bit too literally, Essence. Oh, it is very like nice though. It's very impactful. It has the glow, it has the shine. I need a brush to kind of like blend this. I just want to blend this out a little bit. But if this stays on, like, we're good. I won't have any complaints. I think this is gonna be a bit too much for me in a waterline. Like, I like a waterline liner. I usually do a waterline liner, but it has to be something very subtle. Otherwise, it just looks like I haven't slept in 2 weeks. Like, it looks very, very harsh on me. Okay, I'm really liking this. I think that is gorgeous. I can see myself using this way more often. The shift is kind of subtle, but it is usually what I feel like with duochrome eyeliners. Like, it's in such a small space, doesn't have that much room to shift. But it's just, this one has such a nice metallic glow to it. And that is just really beautiful. It is kind of like this almost molten metal look. But yeah, you do really have some room to smudge it because it is so soft. But I feel like going in, knowing that it is soft is enough to not have it break or anything like that. Just be aware of the formula. Okay, this is really nice. Maybe I should just put a little bit over here, just a little, and blend that out. Just to have the little bit of blue on the lower lash line as well. Okay, I am really impressed by this eyeliner. I thought that maybe it would be too soft and that could have caused an issue, but I don't feel like that is the case. I'm gonna finish this eye look. I'm gonna put on some face makeup, and then we have a blush and a highlighter to try. Okay, so this is the finished look. I've just been messing a little bit with that outer corner shade because I just feel like it's not sitting on my eye exactly how I would want it to. It's just being a little stubborn. Like, this is looking quite good, I think. Here it's just a little bit messy. I don't know what the reason is for that. I think I'm also seeing kind of like the natural shadows of my face, which is bugging me. But I think I'm just gonna leave it because sometimes when this happens, it's just not even really like a quality thing. We have the Blush Affair Cream and Powder palette from the Catrice and Wonder Woman collection. I didn't get to put this on my face yesterday, so I thought we'd try it in this video. And this is the one in 010 Champion for All. It's quite a cool tone pink shade, and I'm first gonna go in with the cream shade, which is this one. And I am very excited about this palette. By the way, I also put on a little bit of bronzer. I have on a layer of foundation, a little bit of a thinner layer of a more full coverage foundation. This is really nice. I really like this type of pink blush on myself. It's a little bit of the trend color, you know, but for me, it was never a trend. I really, really like this one, honestly. I really liked the one yesterday as well, but it's not really my color. And I feel like this is just really something I would reach for over and over and over again. This is really lovely. And in a way, I'm kind of sad that the additions to the Blush Affair line, the Blush Affair duos, are in a limited edition. I would have loved to see more shades in the regular range as well, but maybe it will happen. Maybe we will see this or something similar in the regular range. This is really nice. I don't think I'm gonna put on the powder today because the highlighter is kind of like a cream highlighter. So the last thing that I want to try out with you in this video is this Superman and Essence Jelly Highlighter Stick. I decided to get the pink one. We also have a champagne one in the collection, and this one is the shade 01 Undefeated. And it says, with soft shimmer and cooling effect. Does it have some like mintiness in it, or is it more just that it is a jelly formula? I don't know, but this looks really cool in the packaging. It has kind of like this jelly like feel to the product, kind of like those jelly sticks from Milk Makeup. And I just want to apply a little bit of this on top as a blush topper because this on its own is way too dark as a highlighter, but the other one also looked quite dark. So I thought, okay, let's just combine these things. I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger. It does feel really cool to the touch. And this is what it looks like on my finger. It does seem to have almost a little bit of a glittery like formula to it. Does it have a little bit of glitter? I think so. Like it has a sheen, but it also has a little bit of like almost sparse shimmer. I don't know how I feel about this shimmer. And I do have to say, as I was swatching it, it almost seemed like some chunks were coming off this product. It is kind of like a natural highlight, but then there is actual like almost shimmer chunks in it, which if you know me, I don't really love that. Like a shimmery highlighter, okay, it can be something that I wear, but then it shouldn't be like sparse. It should be more like a veil of shimmer. I don't want to be able to kind of like count individual like shimmer specks, and that is what I'm seeing here. Is it kind of cute? Yeah, kind of. And I do feel kind of like the jelly feel on the cheeks, but I don't know, I definitely see that shimmer. But the glow of the product itself, like underneath, is quite nice. So I'm a little like, what do I think? How do I really feel? I think this is something you have to like. Like this has to be your thing, but it blended well. You do have that cooling effect, but you also do have the shimmer. I'm gonna let this dry. I feel like it's not dry just yet. It needs a little bit of time. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna put on a lip product and finish this look. And here we have the finished look. And I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. I'm pretty excited about these products. I think this was a pretty successful video. So the lip mask, if you like a really fruity scent, a very like a mango, passion fruit, something like that, this is actually really nice. I do really like it. I don't know if it's as hydrating as like my favorite lip balm, which is by the way also from Essence, but it is quite nice and it's quite fun. It looks cute. Then the eyeshadow palette. I actually think that, by the way, this is covered in bits and pieces of eyeliner, so that does tell you something. Like that eyeliner is a little messy, but this eyeshadow palette I actually think is quite nice. I could get quite a nice cool tone look. Had a little bit of trouble blending here, but besides that, the shimmers are like more piecey, shimmery, but not too in your face, not too like overpowering the look. They are kind of like on the softer side, but they are quite nice. You can just apply them with a finger and a brush, but they will cause a little bit of fallout. I did like the blend and just the way this cream eyeshadow looked on my eyes. I will see if it creases, but I don't believe it's gonna crease because it was really like this cream to powder. It feels like a powder on the skin in the end. I quite like the look that I could get with this. Like this is a pretty cute palette. I like the quality a bit better than the Catrice palette. Like the Catrice palette was also like, that was also a good look. But for me, I feel like this is just a little bit more my makeup style. And also, of course, a little bit more my colors. But I do really like the mattes in here. I like the color story. I think the shimmers of this one are a little bit more impactful. And then we have the eyeliner. It's a little bit soft, which makes it a little bit hard to use in a way. But in another way, it is very impactful, very shiny, very like molten metal metallic, which I think is great. This is really beautiful. And of course, the highlighter. The highlighter is really nice, but you have to like kind of like that PC sparkle. I do like the like glow that the jelliness gives, but I don't know if this is gonna be my personal favorite, but there's something very like fresh and natural about it. I kind of wish that the sparkle wasn't there, then this would be like one of my favorite highlighters for sure. Like this is really cute. Besides that, according to me. And then of course the blush affair palette. I really like this color. I think this is a really beautiful blush color, and I'm glad that they made a color like this in this formula because I really enjoy it. And then that's gonna be everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.